Always, I don't know, I was muted. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Biggie Let's Talk episode 24. Hope everyone's good, hope everyone's well. So today we're joined by Lexi Crawford, the blonde fro, and she's going to tell us what is all that about. Because it's just not about the blonde fro, there's more, the blonde afro, it's more to it. And she hasn't got an afro at the moment, but she did have. She might surprise us, you never know. But yeah, it's all about. So we're going to touch on a bit about mental health. We're going to touch a bit about what she does, business wise, and everything else. So I'm just going to wait for her to pop in. She hasn't popped in yet. So while we're waiting for her, smash a like, please, because most of the people that watch don't even hit the like button. So please do hit the like button, subscribe, and run. Go and tell your friends. That's the most important thing. So yeah, while we wait for Lexi to come in, which I think might take a while because you know what I did say 8 p.m. It's 8 p.m. here in the UK, but it's meant to be 3 p.m. her time. But as usual, I get my times mixed up. So when she pops in, I'll bring her straight in. But on Wednesday, I'm joined by Dr. Olsen. I'm sure you guys have seen the video or you've seen him on Instagram and on Facebook and uh, YouTube. Amazing guy. We're going to talk about skinny fat, so and Asian and South Asian diets. So why is it that you got so many like skinny rats walking around, giving it 10, and how can they basically sort themselves out, maintain their physique and everything? So yeah, should be interesting because he's massive in Canada and America. So yeah, should be a good live. Make sure you tell your friends. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. That's the important thing. So while I just wait for Lexi to come in. Hear me? Oh, here she is. Okay. Lexi, I'm gonna bring you in now, yeah? Good evening.
Good
The
evening.
blonde pro, how you doing? You okay?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for adjusting your time because as usual I get it messed up. So is it 2 p.m. there?
It is 2 p.m. here, Central Time.
Okay. How you doing? You good?
I am good. Thank you. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon here. I'm
It's,
just to sit out back and enjoy the weather a little bit.
yeah, it's beautiful here as well. Luckily we're getting some good sunshine for once.
What's the
Well,
temperature there in London?
but during the day it was about 27, 26, 27.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yes, yesterday it was in its 30s.
Oh my goodness, yeah. We This is actually pleasant for us. Normally we are in 100-degree weather by now, but I think we're right around 90 or so today, which is pleasant for our summers.
Yeah. But you know what? When it's hot here, it's completely different because the humidity is different, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I have
And it
been.
really like,
I traveled there. It rained the entire time I was there. I was in London about a week for an air show with my previous company,
wow.
and it
Okay.
rained the entire week.
What time of the year did you come?
I'm sorry.
What time of the year was it?
Um, October.
Yeah, it's always raining.
Yeah, so it was quite
But
chilly and
but
rainy.
it's weird because whenever like I talk to people from America or Canada, they were saying, "Oh, we love the rain. It's so romantic. It's beautiful." Longer. You want to live in it.
Exactly. Well, it was cute the first couple of days, but after a few days, I was like, okay, I'm over the rain. Stop
Yeah,
it.
you're over the nice spots. Okay, let's get into it. So, what inspired you to start your journey as the blonde fro?
Biggie, really me, my own journey, and it's so funny that you call it that now. Just it wasn't really a journey; it was just some accumulation of things that started happening to me that I started noticing after I had my last son. I've got three kids, and my youngest is 14. But
Excellent.
right after I had him, I started having some real mental challenges, and I just wasn't myself when I went decided to go back to work. I just couldn't get it together. I wasn't as sharp as I was previously. Things that used to come easy and simple for me in my day to day job became difficult, or I second guessed myself a lot. So there was just a lot of mental imbalances that were going on. But like most people, probably I ignored them and said, "Oh, it's hormones.
Yeah.
It'll it'll level out after a while." And then after my son turned about a year, and I was still feeling the same way, and really started affecting my performance at work, I realized, okay, no, this is serious. Something is really
So
going.
what type of work were you doing at the time?
I was a project manager for a defense company, which is why I was traveling to London. We had a defense contract over there, and they had invited us to a local air show. But I was a project manager in the IT department. And so I was the one that went out and implemented new software at our new
Yeah.
site. I did all the phase ins. I, got people online. So very interactive. Different countries. I've flown to Dubai and phased in there. So just traveled the world, which seemed to be exciting and glamorous, but it wears you out after a while, especially when you're dealing with some mental issues that need to be
Yeah.
addressed. Yeah. So project management, IT for almost 20 years. Very,
And
very
then you were saying so you had your oldest,
youngest.
so you had your youngest, and is that when you started to feel the effects and your
Absolutely.
body of your body?
Absolutely. What I thought was hormones ended up really being, um, now that the doctors describe it to me, my last child, because I don't know if because I was older when I had him, but it triggered some mental issues that I had always dealt with, but it really brought them to surface after I had him. And so I went in to my doctor. He referred me to a psychologist. Um, a psychiatrist. The psychiatrist diagnosed me with bipolar disorder, depressive disorder, and a few years later, also ADHD. So I had all those things working,
Wow.
but I had been managing, I had been functioning um, all these years. But after my son, it really took a toll on my brain,
So
and
all these chemical reactions happening in your brain, and you're just getting on with it.
I'm just getting on with it, just moving on and just going through life. And yeah, when it started to affect my work, I knew something was wrong because I was always really sharp, always in
Yeah.
charge. And so I knew something was going on. So,
So what was like the breaking point?
um, breaking point was one day I was at work and I was a writer. So I wrote all of our policies and procedures that we shared when we went to phase in a new site. And I couldn't put a sentence together.
Uh,
Um, and that went on for a couple of days. And I was just like, what is wrong with me? I couldn't put a sentence together. I couldn't articulate my thoughts. And it just got to be really overwhelming. And one day I was sitting at my desk. I'll never forget. It was a Wednesday afternoon around 2 o'clock. I said, I don't know what's going on, but this doesn't feel right. And I'm just going to leave because I was too embarrassed to tell anybody at work what was going on with me. And so I just packed up my things and left out. And I left my badge on the desk so that I couldn't go back in because
yeah.
I knew, because again, I'm fast forwarding this story. I had been in and out of corporate America a few times, but I always went back because it was comfortable. I was
Yeah.
good at it and I made a lot of money. I had a good job, as they say. And so, even though when it would wear me out, I would leave, take a break. I got my real estate license many years ago. I tried to open a boutique and do some different things to try and get myself on the path of getting out of corporate America. But because it was comfortable, I knew it, and it was great money, I would always run back to it. And so,
Yeah.
this particular day that I'm speaking of, the breaking point, you say, I decided I'm done. And so I didn't give myself a way back in, so to say. I left my badge on the desk so I couldn't go back in. I got in my car um, and sat there for a minute, and the tears just started falling. And I just drove home. I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell my bosses, didn't
So
tell
you
my,
didn't tell your friend, your colleagues at work, not even like you always got one person that you speak to at work.
didn't tell anybody. Nobody.
Wow.
Nobody. Just, I didn't want anyone to try and talk me out of it, and I didn't want
Yeah.
to talk myself out of it. Um, because I knew I was at my wit's end, and I knew if I sat there any longer, I was literally going to snap and go crazy.
So then you got home.
I get home, I pull
Yeah.
up, my husband's here, and he's like, "What's going on? What's happening?" I said, "I left work." And he said, "Well, I see that. Why did you leave work?" And I told him, I said, "You know what? I don't know why I left work, but I couldn't sit there any longer." And so, him being the great guy that he is, called my doctor, made me an appointment. My doctor saw me and said, "Hey, this is over my head. I'm going to refer you to a psychiatrist." And he did. And that started the path to, what I call now my journey, my healing journey. Um,
Okay.
a lot of things I didn't want to face, but now that I look back on it, a lot of the issues that I deal with running my family, they were never discussed, never talked about. And I'm the one in my family that has chosen to break that cycle.
Brilliant.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so the blonde fro. What? How did the blonde fro actually start? Because it's more than a hairstyle. It's simple. It's a symbol, isn't it?
It is. It is. So the blonde fro, of course, was never my intent. But I often, when I'm not wearing my braids in the summer, I wear my hair in a afro, and I started dyeing my hair many years ago to cover my gray. But don't tell anyone. And it just kind of happened for me organically. And my husband said, "You're going through this journey," and we started talking about kind of what I was going through. But I was always changing my hairstyle, and people knew me for my hairstyles, but they
Yeah.
always knew me back for the blonde fro. And so I would always come back to my fro. But what it really symbolizes, the reason why we came up with to name the platform the blonde fro, is because it really was the coming together of two worlds for me. So, of course, I'm obviously African American, and so afros are, common in our
Of course.
culture.
Yeah.
But the blonde is more of the norm for, American society. It symbolizes what's good and acceptable. And so, when you put those two together, you've got this perfectly imperfect person, me. I wore a blonde fro, and it was, to me, it really symbolized who I was at the core of me. I'm a great person, but I've got these abnormalities that I have to deal with, and I'm not afraid to share it with other people and let them know that it's okay to not be perfect. Because
Of
some people
course. It's always okay not to be okay, isn't it?
absolutely, absolutely. And so I think that's where it really came from. But to give credit where credit is due, my husband came up with the name for the platform.
Brilliant. Okay. How was your identity as a black woman shaped your mission for mental wellness and coaching?
Say that one more time.
How is your identity as a black woman shaped you for your mission in mental well-being?
Well, for one, it's not the norm for the black community to even acknowledge mental illness. So that's
Mm.
the first thing.
It is like the Asian community. We love sweeping it under the carpet and hiding it. We don't like to talk about it.
So it's common in our community to say things like, "Oh, you know how they are. Oh,
Yeah.
they're just crazy. Oh, they're a little throwed off." But no, really, they suffer from schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, ADHD,
ADHD.
all these different things that we just refuse to acknowledge, or we're just uneducated about it. Either way, that's one of the things that I've had to overcome in the black community. Even people that have known me my entire life, my friends and family closest to me, they all want to deny my conditions that
Yeah,
have
I can
that
imagine.
have been professionally diagnosed. They've seen the signs of it, but it makes them uncomfortable.
Talk about it or accept it.
It made them uncomfortable in the beginning, but now that I've educated them and they've seen that I am still attempting to live a normal life, even with my diagnosis, and I'm still plowing through like I was before. So now they see, okay, well, we two things can happen at once. We can acknowledge these disorders, and she's still Lexia. She's still the person that we know, because sometimes when you're diagnosed with things like this, it makes other people uncomfortable, especially if you lean into it and
Yeah.
you're you're okay with it and you speak transparently about it, it makes other people feel comfortable because they feel like people are going to judge you. And some people do. Um, as I mentioned to you before, I'm a real estate agent. So I have to be careful. I have to find the balance there to let, sellers and buyers know that they can trust me. I'm not going to have a mental breakdown during their deals. But at the same time, it's something that I struggle with, but I manage it. I am always under professional care, and I recognize my symptoms and when I need a break, and when I need to step away and take care of myself.
I think that's the important part, isn't it? Realizing yourself
Absolutely.
that, listen, I need to take a few steps back in order to move a few steps forward.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I call it being on or not. I have those days where I tell my family, "Hey, I am not on today, so I'm gonna rest. I'm gonna take a brain break."
Why not? Okay, you're very open about your mental health journey, like we've just been discussing. What challenges did you face earlier on, and how did you overcome them?
I think just what I just said. It was difficult for me to
For the community to accept it?
yeah, it was difficult for me to accept it because my whole life I had been in charge, in control. I planned everything. I had had a successful career, a great marriage, always showed up for my family and friends. And so for me to have something wrong was abnormal. And that was difficult to accept, but it was also a relief because I realized, when I look back over my life, all the different challenges I had, I realize now that they were contributed to my illnesses, and I didn't even realize it at times. And then, of course, trying to educate your family and friends to one, acknowledge it and still realize that you're not going to go crazy on them, and that
Yeah.
they can still treat you the same way. They don't have to be different around you. It's just something. It's another layer of me that people
So
have to.
what were your friends like around you at the time? So you're going through this change in your life, and obviously some of them being from the Afro Black Caribbean community. Did they not want acceptance, or were they like your friends?
No, they didn't want to accept it. Somebody told me, "Oh, you're fine. You're just going through some hormonal stuff," or
Yeah,
"Oh, you're going through menopause," or "Oh no, it's your hormones. You just had a baby." And at this point, my son was almost 2 years old. I'm like, "No, I think it's a little bit more than that." So they, in order to make them comfortable, or for nothing, I think they couldn't accept that something was wrong with me because that was just incomprehensible. They couldn't do it, but I had to educate them. No, there is something wrong. I acknowledge it. I've been diagnosed by professionals. Um, I'm
exactly.
I'm good with it, and you're going to have to accept it. So that was probably the biggest challenges in the beginning. Um, to be honest, Biggie, I'm still overcoming some of those things. But I just have to, live my life, and I refuse to hide it. And I want to be transparent so that I can help other people, because that's really what it boils down to.
Definitely.
Yeah,
And then the estate agent stuff, were you doing that on the side before when you were doing your project management, or was that only come afterwards?
I was. So I've been a licensed real estate agent since 2006. I got my license while I was working as a project manager because I knew that was my second career. I always wanted to be a real estate agent. So I tried to work it part time while I was still working. And then I gave myself a little break, and I
Mhm.
took about a year to really work my real estate business. And then, if you recall, 2008, there was a big real estate bust,
Yeah,
mortgages. It was a mess. So again, I ran back to my, corporate job, because I always tried to leave on good terms where I could always go back, never burned any bridges. And again, I was good at my job. And so I was able to go
fair
back.
enough.
And so I went back, and then, so I dibbled and dabbled in real estate for years, on and off, part time. But I decided, after my final diagnosis, after I was under, therapy care, as well as I got on the right meds that really worked for me. So probably 2016, I left my job for the last time and went into real estate full time. And so I
Fair
work
enough.
commercial real estate agent. I love it. It kind of helps me wear my project management hat because it's a lot of moving parts, a lot of
Brilliant.
timelines, a lot of budgeting. So I'm on the commercial side and I enjoy it so much. And so,
Okay, and how do you manage your mental wellness today, these days?
again, like I said, I've been in therapy, whoa, for a long time. Now my sessions are further apart. When I initially started, I actually went into inpatient therapy. My husband and I checked me into a mental health facility. I
Wow.
went, I was there every single day for about a week, and then I went part time for another couple of weeks. And so when we really had a good grasp on it, and my meds were really figured out, and I felt stable, then I started going to a local therapist here, and I've been seeing her now for over 7 years. And where I was going every week, I went to 2 weeks, once a month, and now I'm going every 3 months because
And does it help?
oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Every time I think, okay, I'm good now, I don't need to go back, something will pop up, and I'm like, you know what?
Definitely.
No, I'm not ready. So, yeah, it really does help. And Biggie, I've got to tell you, I feel so much better about being able to help other people. I think I continue to go through my therapy sessions because I always get some new insight or some
Yeah,
new tool that not only helps me, helps other people when I'm talking to them and in my coaching and mentoring. And I'm able to bring it into real estate as well. When I manage a few other teammates, agents that work with me, and when they lose a deal, it's hard.
definitely.
It's draining, it's mentally exhausting. And so I'm able to use some of that to help them kind of get over that
Yeah.
disappointment.
And people don't understand how important it is to talk, isn't, don't they?
They do.
Like when you go to your therapist and you talk, I'm sure you like open up to him or her, your doctor, and to actually talk about a problem makes a huge difference.
It really
And
does.
and if you like let your insides out,
Yep, it really does. And even when I'm talking to other people, I try to be as transparent as I can be and let them know. So, again, I keep coming back to real estate because I use so much of it in
yeah,
my day to day work. I can tell clients, I've been where you are. I deal with clients that are going through divorces and they've got to sell property. I deal with clients that are dealing with death. They inherited properties that,
yeah,
they didn't plan on, they don't know what to do. And so I'm dealing with people that have suffered loss and are in tough stages of life sometimes. And so I'm able to use a lot of my work, my journey to help them through those tough times.
fantastic. So, what is the mission behind the Blonde Fro
The
and as a brand?
the mission, the brand, the platform is just about transparency. To be honest, Biggie, it's me being transparent. Even and again, people see me and they look at me on the surface, and it may look like I've got it all together. My life is perfect.
Yeah,
My hair is usually great. My makeup's done. My clothes are decent. But what they don't realize is that it's a daily battle for me to get up and decide to overcome my mental issues. There's some days when I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to get up. I don't want to take a shower. I don't have a lot of energy. I'm exhausted, but I have to push through those days. And I try to share that with other people. So if you start feeling that way, know that one, you're not alone, because look at me, even though I look perfect, I am not. This is something I deal with on a day-to-day basis, just like an addict.
uh-huh.
That's the best way I can describe mental illness is that it's like an addict, and it never goes away. You'll never not be an alcoholic. You'll never not be a drug addict, but it's a day-to-day choice to decide not to be.
Daily battle, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Okay, you sell your merch, the Blonde Fro merch, so your t-shirts, your caps, and everything. And how do you want people to feel when they wear it?
I want them to feel bold. I want them to feel seen. Like I want somebody to say, "What's that girl doing with that fro on and it's blonde?" It's a conversation starter.
Yeah,
Um, and I want them to share the platform with other people so that other people, again, it may not be for you. You may be perfectly mentally healthy and balanced, but I guarantee you in your life at some point you're going to run across someone else that is not, and you're going to be able to help them or support them or point them in our direction.
Well, I want to big up Coach Amber Phoenix. She's actually nominated you, so she's watching. She's in the comments.
She's in the comments. Hey, Amber, I can't see you, but
She was brilliant when I had her on.
I appreciate her very much. That's my darling.
Okay, how have your followers or clients responded to your energy and your everything that you do on Instagram and Facebook, all of your social media?
I think for the most part, people have responded well. I think at first, it took a little bit of getting used to. I think that they were like, okay, what is Lexia doing now? Because I have had so many, over the years, I've had so many brands and businesses that I've introduced, so many things that I've done. And so I think people were just kind of like standoffish at first, like, okay, what is this she's doing now? But it was really, I think, eye-opening for a lot of people. I think they realized, oh, okay, so this she's really really trying to help other people, and she's being very transparent. The best feedback I get, Biggie, privately and even openly on the platforms is, Lexia, thank you for your transparency. You don't know how much you've helped me.
Brilliant.
You don't know how many days that I've gotten up and remembered something you said or mentioned, that has gotten me through to get up.
That means a lot, don't it? That's amazing.
It is. That's a great feeling. That's a great feeling to know that just by me sharing, I've helped someone else get out of a dark place, a low place. Because I tell all of my followers, if you watch any of my videos, give yourself tomorrow. Tomorrow
Yeah.
can change everything, because so many people think right now, today, this very present moment is just all encompassing. It's overwhelming. I don't know if I'm going to get past it, but you will. Tomorrow is a new day. Give yourself tomorrow. It gets better. I promise you.
So are you actually a coach now?
Um, I have a certification I am certified to be a coach. I don't like to put a label on what I do, Biggie, because I feel like I feel like there's so many coaches now coaching on so many different things. I don't want to be labeled. I just want to help you. I just want to share with you. And if you need further assistance, if you want to reach out to me directly, I'm certainly happy to help. But I don't seek out to be a coach, if that answers
Yeah. So what type of typical people come and approach you?
To be honest, local people here in my community, I'm in Fort Worth, Texas. And so because I've had so many brands and I've had boutiques and I've had event centers, a lot of people have engaged with me personally. And so they feel comfortable reaching out to me, inboxing me, texting me, hey, Lexia, I saw something you posted. I'm really struggling today, or my friend is struggling. Do you think you could reach out to her and talk with her? And I've gotten so many of those phone calls. My local church here, they've allowed me to come in and speak. And I'm telling you, it was amazing. Some of the elderly ladies there, she said, Lexia, they would say, Lexia, thank you so much for giving this a voice and a name, because when we were growing up, there was no name for it.
There's nobody there, yeah.
You couldn't be depressed. They would tell you, girl, put your big panties on and keep it moving.
That's so true.
They said back in our day, you couldn't be depressed. There was no time. There was no money to be depressed. You just had to go. And so that helps me from young to old, Biggie. I've had so many people come to me, even men as well. People don't realize more men get depressed than women.
And the thing is, men don't like to talk about it.
Exactly.
More than women.
They're supposed to be the leaders, the head of their homes, the breadwinners, but we don't realize that they get even more of the stress than women do on a day-to-day basis, and they tend to fall into depressions that they have to really hide. So it makes it even tougher for them. So I've had men reach out to me and just say thank you.
Okay, what's one breakthrough moment that sticks in your head where you've helped somebody? And tell us about that. That reminded you what you do and why.
A good friend here, again, a local friend here, probably 3 years ago now. She was ready to give up. She was suicidal. And her cousin reached out to me to say, "Hey, Lexia, I'm too close to the situation. I don't know that I can help her. Can you please try to reach out to her and just talk to her? I'm not asking you to save her, but if you would do this for me, I would greatly appreciate it." I
Yeah.
did. I didn't know her before. We connected, told her about my journey. She was receptive. We met up a couple times. We talked on the phone a few times. And fast forward, she pulled herself out of it. She wasn't able to find a job. She was about to lose her house. She had gone through a nasty breakup. And so all these things had piled on at once.
Brilliant.
And fast forward today, 3 years later, she has an amazing job as a director of a healthcare center. Her daughter just graduated from college. She is in her same home, and she is also married as of last year, and she's beautifully happy in her imperfect life.
Fantastic. Okay, how do you balance everything in life? So obviously you're a mother, you're a wife, you you do your state agency, and then you do all this like time for your friends and not I won't say coaching, but the blonde throw and everything. How do you balance it all?
I don't know
And
that I
then
do.
obviously then you're like me, you got your chemical reactions in your head going on.
Um, I take a lot of brain breaks, like I said. I give myself permission to step away from it all when I feel myself getting overwhelmed. Where I used to beat myself up about having to step away and take a break, I do not, and I don't feel guilty about it. I don't feel guilty about disappointing anyone. Anyone in my life now knows probably more about me than they want to know. And so everyone around me is willing and able to give me that time away. If that makes
Brilliant.
My team, I'm very transparent with them. If I'm having a rough week, having a week where I'm a little bit off, I let them know. I don't not show up for them. I just let them know I'm going to have to show up in limited uh,
Yeah.
amounts. And I'm just honest. I'm honest. That's how I deal with it. That's how I balance it. I'm honest with the people around me that matter, and I take breaks and step away when I need to. I am honest with myself, and I'm honest with the people around me. That's how I balance.
Okay, what do you think is missing in self care or mental health space, especially for Black Asians or people of ethnic minority?
Acknowledgement,
Like talking about it and
acknowledgement,
raising awareness.
yeah, and not just acknowledgement and talking about it, but also seeking help for it. So
Definitely.
sometimes families will know, they will see it, they've known for, it's the, oh, he's crazy, or how she is. When it really needs to not only be acknowledged, but it also needs to be addressed. There are so many different disorders that we are unaware of, that we refuse to acknowledge, that there are medications for, therapies for, different tips and tools, if we would just acknowledge them and go seek help. And in the Black community, everybody, you go to God in prayer. Let's pray about it.
Yeah.
Yes, you can pray about it. That's wonderful. It's great. That's always our first reaction. But also, God gives us resources, tools, and tips, and people, professionals to help us process through these things once we acknowledge them. And so that's what I would say in the Black community: to acknowledge, accept, and seek help.
Seek help. See, in my community, when obviously because it's the same, people don't want to acknowledge it. When you're younger and you got some kind of mental illness, they'll think, okay, let's take him back to India and let's sort him out over there, and then they'll end up mostly beating the crap out of the kid,
Yeah.
thinking that you know what, that's the only way he's gonna get better,
Yep. A
and
lot
it's
of
not.
a lot of
It,
that goes on in our community as well.
yeah,
Kids with ADHD, they've almost been beat to death to try to beat it out of them, when
yeah,
really what they needed was professional help.
help. Yeah, that's it. Okay, have you ever faced backlash or misunderstanding for being bold and authentic online? And
Oh,
how did you handle it? So basically, that's handling hate, basically.
absolutely. I wouldn't say hate or backlash, but I have had another real estate agent that reached out to me, and she great intentions. She was a friend of mine, but she was also an agent. She said, Lexia, how do you think people are going to react to you now that you've been in business? Do you think they'll still want to do business with you now that you've come out saying that you've got these mental disorders? And I remember responding, and I'm paraphrasing, I can't remember my exact words, but I said, you know what? If they have an issue with me being honest and transparent, then they were probably not meant to do business with me in the first place. And I'm okay.
100% agree.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Fair dues. Okay, well, if you could send one message to anyone slightly struggling right now, what would it be?
Just literally, just kind of summarizing what I've said on the call.
Need help.
Acknowledge that you're struggling with something, and everybody that's struggling is not, suffering from some mental illness. Sometimes it's just things going on in life. It's trauma that we're dealing with. It's a loss that we're dealing with that we're trying to process through. It's a stage or season of depression that we're going through because something in life has happened that disappointed us. Things didn't go the way we planned. And so you'll go through these, what I call temporary moments of depression. That's different. You still need help because sometimes in those moments, they can also lead you to do some, detrimental things to yourself and even think of taking your own life. So I would definitely say if you feel like you're struggling with anything mentally, emotionally, reach out to somebody that you know that you can trust. Don't ever feel like you're alone and nobody has ever gone through what you're going through because believe me, there's nothing new under the sun. God already knew what you were going to go through right now at this moment in this season of your life. And so he has prepared resources and people around you to help you process through it. However, it's up to you to say and speak about what you're going through to get that help. That's what I would say is find somebody that you trust. And it may not always be somebody that you know and love. It could just be somebody like me online.
But if when you were going through your hard time, is that what you would have wanted to hear? So if you could turn the clock back and you could talk to yourself, or you can have a Lexi come to talk to you, is that what you want? Is that what would you have said? Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Fortunately for me, I was able to talk to my husband.
Yeah, which is even better.
Yeah, but my husband's also my best friend. So a lot of people don't have that relationship. And so you want it to be somebody that you trust. But if you don't have someone that you trust, you may have to trust a professional or somebody that's gone through, something similar to you. But again, the main thing I can tell you is no matter if it's permanent, if it's an actual mental illness, or if it's just seasonal, give yourself tomorrow. It gets better. It gets better. I
think is trauma is such a big thing, and it just takes such a long time for you to come over trauma, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
And it's just one of these things you have to work on it.
It is. It is just like you said earlier. It's a journey. Trauma normally doesn't happen overnight, and so it cannot be healed overnight. It is a process.
Build up. That's right.
The process.
Okay. So what's next for the Blonde Fro? Any events, projects, or collaborations?
No. The Blonde Fro's been pretty quiet over the summer. I am working on relaunching my journal, which is a self-help journal, but it's a little bit different than most journals. It actually takes you through some of my trauma and some of my childhood moments that I think defined me, good or bad. And I talk through those and I tell you, or I ask you, do you see yourself in this passage? Do you see yourself in this writing? And if so, how? How did you process through it? And so the attempt of the point of the journal is to help you self-reflect, but look back also to see how far you've come, even though you went through those experiences and you can find yourself in some of the trauma, you've also come so far. And so sometimes it takes a moment to look back to get over things, okay, or to process through things. Sometimes if you're just so stuck in it and it's, at the top of mind, it's hard for you to see, wow, I've really come a long way. I've done healing work and I'm better. I'm not perfect. I'm not where I want to be, but I've come a really long way. And sometimes that little bit can help you get to the next stage of healing.
Fantastic. Okay, where do you see the blonde fro in 5 years? I was going to say 2 to 3, but for say 5 years,
Well, that's a good question.
evolving, like growing.
To be honest, I would really like to collaborate with some of my local churches because I find that the church is the starting place for a lot of this because
Definitely.
I feel like a lot of our community is unable to process through some of their trauma or some of their mental issues because the church tells them you're not allowed to speak about dark places, you're not allowed to speak about depression, pray about it. And so I feel
Yeah.
like that keeps us stuck, it keeps us quiet, and it keeps us in our head. Prayer is great, but again, the Bible speaks about faith without works is dead. Okay. And so you stay in these dead places when you attempt to just pray about it. We've got to get out of that mode and not only pray, we've got to seek help, acknowledgement, and access the professional resources that God has blessed us with. And so I think for me, I would like to get back in the vein of partnering with some of the major churches in my community and traveling, and
Brilliant.
come in and offer a platform for people that may be struggling or know someone that is struggling or may be struggling in the future so that they at least have enough of a foundation to help support themselves or other people
100%.
going through it. So
Definitely.
that's where I see myself in a probably two.
Excellent. And I see you doing it as well because I know you've got the energy and I know you've got the eagerness to do it. So 100%. And I wish you all the best. Okay, if you could collab with one creator or wellness figure, who would it be and why?
Ooh, that's a good one. I don't know, Biggie. Wellness figure.
Or okay, say any celeb.
Taraji. What's her last name?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Taraji Henson, I think is her
All
name.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She just played in Straw on Netflix. And the
Uh-huh.
reason why is because she also has come out and spoke that she has dealt with depression and that it ran in her family. Her dad suffered from depression. And so people like that already have a large platform, I would love to be able to just sit down and have a conversation with her about
Brilliant.
where it started, how her family reacted. But yeah, I would love to collaborate with somebody like her. And I like her.
Excellent.
She's one of my favorite actresses.
Definitely. Okay, as we're coming to the end now, just a few random questions. What's the wildest and random DM you've received? So message you've received?
You said what? What's a random what?
DM.
Oh my goodness. um, you're so beautiful. There's absolutely no way you could be depressed. I don't believe you. Very random.
Brilliant.
I've gotten I would love to come and save you. As if I need to be saved.
Yeah,
Things like that.
brilliant. So they're all positive. They're not like creepy or nothing, are they?
No, I don't believe I've gotten any. No, no. Well, creepy. Somebody did offer me money um, to share some things with them, but no,
Okay,
nothing. No, nothing. That was kind of creepy, but I just blocked them. But no, most things are positive. Most things are
brilliant.
people. They say the wrong things, but I think they have the right intentions behind them.
Thing is, that's what the block button's there for as well.
Absolutely.
And that's what people need to start using more often. Okay, if your blonde fro had a personality, what would it say about you today?
Ooh, today
Yeah, if your fro had a personality, what would it say about you today?
it would say you've come a long way, baby. It
Brilliant.
really would. I'm I'm not healed. I don't think you're ever healed when you deal with mental issues. I think you learn how to process and adjust,
Process it, yeah.
find balance, but I think it's an ongoing process throughout life. But I think that's the blessing in it is that you get to deal with this thing that I think on one hand keeps you humble, which I think God uses everything we go through to keep us humble and dependent on Him. But at the same time, I think it gives you a cause and a mission and purpose in life outside of yourself. So for me, I can't be perfect
Yeah,
in knowing this about myself. So it causes me to always be working on myself and always trying to work to get better, not necessarily for myself, but for the people that will come along that I serve, because I believe that that's why we're all here is to serve. It's not about us at all. I think we go through things that prepare us to serve God's people. And that's why we're all here. If we would all learn to figure out our thing, and sometimes it's that thing that we don't want to acknowledge or the thing that we think is going to take us down, but it's really there to prepare us for our purpose.
definitely. So your three boys, they must be quite big now, huh? How are they supportive?
Oh, absolutely. My son is 29. Excuse me,
Wow,
he's about to be 29. He'll kill me if I say that right now. He'll be 29 next week on the 22nd or the week after.
brilliant.
But he's doing really well, very accepting. My kids are rock stars. They've probably been my biggest champions and supporters. My daughter also deals with some, mental issues from, I think just, my life and her emotions. And so I've been able to help support her. She supports me. When we're both having off days, we give each other the look and we already know what it is. And I think it's just been one of those things where our it's opened up our family to
Yeah,
be more transparent in so many other ways. Biggie, we've got such a great family unit.
that's
We
brilliant.
share everything with one another. We're supportive of one another, and I think we're all each other's biggest champions.
Okay. Oh, don't forget you got your husband as well, The Rock.
Oh my goodness. They're my rock stars. He is literally my rock. When I was going through, I lost myself completely, but he never ever left my side. He took me to every appointment. He pushed me to get out of bed. He told me when he saw me slipping away, and some of his words literally brought me back to life when I was dead.
So that day when you left, you quit your job, you left your badge there, and you come home. Have you ever been in touch with any of them, any of the people that work there since?
I eventually, about 3 days later, well, I take that back. It was on a Wednesday, and Friday, I finally emailed my boss to tell him, hey, yeah, I need some time off. Nobody even knew. They didn't even realize I was gone.
No way, really?
Yeah. So that was, again, another defining moment for me that I could literally walk out. I could have literally gone to my car and taken my own life. And I
Yeah,
wouldn't,
nobody would have known.
nobody would have even known. And so that was the sad part. It was also an awakening moment for me that, hey, take care of yourself because nobody else will.
Okay, time's running along now. So finally, describe your vibe in 3 words.
My vibe, ooh, strong, vibrant,
Yeah,
and determined.
brilliant.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much. And did you get a chance to nominate anybody?
Oh, I did not. Let me think. Let me think. Somebody that is really had an impact and is really, really.
Have to
Um.
think about it and get back to me. Don't worry, that's fine.
Yeah. Let me think about that, Biggie. I will
Yeah,
not.
cool. But I just want to thank you for your time and wish you all the best
Thank you.
and keep up the good work. And thank you very much.
Absolutely, sir.
Cheers, Blonde Fro.
Bye.
Bye.